Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Brief Nerdity podcast. My name is Trent, and I will be your host again this evening. Joining with me tonight is my friend Janel, also known as the Mermaid Sticks on Twitch. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Having a pretty good day. Lots of video game stuff going up.
Yay, video games. So, I've been wanting to have you on the podcast for a while now. We had Becca on, your sister, before, and your brother, actually. This is becoming a family event.
Wow. Gonna contact my parents next, or?
I mean, if they want to come on and talk video games or movies, I'm all about it. So I guess we'll just go ahead and jump right in to our round robin to get things started off today. We're talking about our favorite old video games. So whatever that means to you is fine. Would you like me to go first, or do you want to go?
I can go.
Sweet.
I think, it's obviously hard to pick one favorite old video game, but I think the big one I sort of come back to, weirdly enough, is Gauntlet Legends, the one on PS1.
Oh, that's a good one. Was that on 64 also?
Yes, yeah.
I love that game.
It was very, it's, graphically maybe not the best thing ever, but at this point it ages, obviously.
Right.
But I actually liked it a lot, especially because family members and siblings, we all played together, and there was the whole 4 people could play at once, which was awesome.
Yeah, I kind of miss that, like, localized, split screen or shared screen multiplayer. You don't see it nearly as much anymore.
It's kind of a bummer, actually. We tried to do it, I swear, with Call of Duty Black Ops 3 or whatever, tried to do split screen, and it just doesn't work the same way. It was really weird, really weird. So I was like, oh, I kind of miss that. I mean, everyone yells at each other for screen peeking, but
right.
I miss split screen gaming.
Split screen peeking was the best and the worst. I'll be honest, I'm super guilty of it in, like, Mario Kart. I screen peek like nobody's business.
I mean, who didn't, though?
Exactly. It was great. That's kind of why I liked things like the Wii so much, is because, like, that whole separate screen idea was really cool, and I'm kind of sad that, never took off, really, because it allowed you to do, like, split screen or different screen but in the same room multiplayer stuff.
Yeah, and it's just not really, it's not even a selling point at this point,
Yeah.
Like, it's not, nobody advertises for split screen because they assume you're going to play online.
Right. We're all lonely and separate in our own little worlds as we talk over the internet
via our Ethernet cables. Yeah.
That's awesome. So I've talked about mine on the podcast before, but I thought, there's never not a good time to plug it. My first favorite RPG was the original Dragon Warrior on NES.
Okay. I haven't personally played it, but I've definitely heard a lot about it.
It's a really fun franchise. I liked it, and I liked 3 the most, actually, but number 1 was the first one to get me going. And my brother and I would play it together, and, like, one of us would have, like, the booklet open, because, like, the RPGs back then came with guides because the game wasn't intuitive enough to tell you where to go.
Yeah.
Or when.
I do know that pain.
So we would, like, one of us would, like, hold the book open and be like, oh, okay, so on the map it says you're supposed to go here at this level, and, like, we gotta go kill some slimes and level up before we can go to this other town, and then we gotta go rescue the princess from the dragon. It was lots of fun.
It sounds awesome, especially the whole, one reading the booklet, the other's got the game up. It's good. That's good.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. We actually did the same thing with Mario 64 when it came out. Our parents gave us we had every time you re-upped the Nintendo Power magazine back in the day, it would give you, like, a free, like, video game guide. Just pick one that's on the list or whatever. So we picked the Mario 64 guide because we hoped we were getting it for Christmas or whatever. And then, like, we learned all the secrets, and it had all the maps, and it was super cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Did you ever subscribe to, like, any of those old, like, video game magazines or anything when you were a kid?
No, we weren't allowed to.
Oh, sad.
You know, there's always the little like thing in the back of the booklet that you could, or I guess in between, depending on where, you know. But
Yeah.
no, it wasn't. I don't know. My parents weren't really big on magazines and that kind of stuff, and so I never really got to do any of those mail-in, like, you know, oh, I want this one and check off. Or no, the closest we got is when my older brothers finally got Game Informer. That was about as big as we got.
I remember Game Informer. That was good. Is that still around?
I think. I'm not sure.
I don't even. I haven't been to a GameStop in a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know. I haven't thought about that. I've got a bunch of old ones, but I haven't looked for any recently. Well, because you know, game guys now, Google exists, just aren't that big.
Yeah. It used to be such a huge market, and then like, you know, GameFAQs and IGN and others just came along and like put them out of business, basically.
Yeah, I mean, because you can learn, why pay 20, 30, 40 bucks for a booklet when you can Google the answers?
Exactly.
Which sucks, because I actually like having game guides. I have all the ones for each WoW expansion, and like,
oh man,
it's just sad to me a little bit that I can't. I mean, they're still there somewhat. Like they have those random published ones, like at the Walmart, just sitting beside the games. But
right, like for the sucker who happens to
not know,
or the collector, I guess.
Or the collector, yeah.
Not necessarily suckers all, but yeah, I'm trying to remember like what the last game guide I got was. I don't remember if it was Mario 64 or if it was one of the ones like shortly after that.
Yeah, mine was definitely one for the WoW expansions. I don't think I've gotten anything else other than that. After that, I mean.
Nice. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty fun stuff. I miss the good old days of gaming sometimes, but at the same time, like, I'm really excited about all the new stuff that's coming out this year.
Good with the bad. You know, like, there's a lot of great things about gaming now, and there's a lot of great things about gaming then, and just hopefully outweighs the bad.
Yeah, if we can get the loot boxes under control, that'll be good.
Oh, that's just a disaster. Gamble right from your phone.
Heck yeah.
And in every game you possibly can.
It's just crazy to me, like, how quickly it took off and just how much money it makes them. So, of course, like, they're going to do it because it makes money and there's nothing to stop them. And so it's like, well, awesome.
Yeah, and I have a bit of a hard time with it because if there's a leveling up, like a level up system where you can also get the same kind of loot boxes, it doesn't bother me that they're in game because I can just do that instead. But otherwise, it's just like, I don't know, like especially with mobile gaming, it's basically a scam. Like it's borderline a scam.
Oh, for sure.
And it definitely appeals to gambling addicts and stuff. So
yeah.
That's a whole other can of worms.
That is a huge can of worms. It's interesting. You're seeing some. This is completely off topic, but it doesn't matter. But you're seeing some countries like pass laws against it now. Like I think China did. Yeah, like you have to post the
odds. I think.
Yeah.
Of getting or the statistics on. Speaking of, did you? I assume you know with Hearthstone how Blizzard so nicely circumvented that.
No, I didn't hear this.
So you know you can buy card packs for Hearthstone.
Right.
Over there they can't anymore because that's gambling because there's no guarantee of what you're going to get in it. So now you can't buy card packs. You buy dust, and conveniently with every dust purchase, you get one card pack.
Oh wow.
Yeah, kind of douchey.
So like the dust is the guaranteed sale, and the card pack is a quote unquote bonus.
Yes, so because it's a bonus, they can't count it as selling the card packs anymore as gambling because they're not selling the card packs; they're selling dust.
That is interesting.
Yeah, not one of their. I mean, it's intelligent in the sense that marketing. That's really smart to circumvent the law, but that's kind of douchey.
Yeah. So card packs brings up an interesting idea because that's kind of like the oldest form of loot boxes. Going all the way back to like physical card packs with collectible card games like, you know, Magic the Gathering.
Do you feel
like that's different? than like loot boxes in Hearthstone or like card packs in Hearthstone. I mean,
I have very mixed feelings about it because I personally don't find a problem in card packs being a gamble. Like you said, it's been around for forever, and I actually like that. The whole, oh, what did I get in this card pack? Can I trade it with someone else? Do I have some of these? You know, like I enjoy that aspect.
Yeah.
But I can see on the other hand, you know, where it's like people buying hundreds, thousands of dollars worth of card packs to get the one that they want, and they just can't. You know, if you don't have control, you know, again, gambling addicts. That's literally how they lose money. Is they just can't. They lack self control to, you know, keep themselves from buying that kind of stuff. So it's like it's hard for me. I personally don't find it that bad. I like card packs, but I can see why it causes issues for people.
Yeah. So do you play Hearthstone?
Very casually. Usually I play enough of the season to get the card back, and then I do my daily quest to get free gold to get card backs. Because I don't spend money in those games at all.
Yeah. That's definitely the best way to do it if you can pull it off. I get really tempted really easily. So I stay away from Hearthstone. It's funny to me like how they kind of exist on a spectrum of like acceptability, because like no one really has a problem with Overwatch loot boxes, for example, because you know they're all skins, sprays, emotes, things like that. Like it doesn't affect the game at all.
Vanity items, yeah.
So you have that kind of like on the low, like acceptable end, and then on the other side you have like I don't know, Battlefront or Shadow of War, where you're like literally getting things that affect the game completely.
Yeah, it's very, very different. Which is funny actually because there's actually quite a few people in the Overwatch, I guess, community who don't like loot boxes because people have, they've had issues with people who just spent tons of money on it trying to get the vanity item. What they suggested to change it, because they don't want to take away loot boxes, because that's a progression system for a game like that, is to get loot boxes, to get vanity items. So they suggested just putting a price on everything as well. So you have the option to just buy the skin that you want. So you're not dumping a bunch of money into it, but then you also have the option to level up and get loot boxes. So people who want to pay can pay, and people who don't have to. I personally, not a fan of microtransactions. I'm okay grinding out 15 boxes if that's what it takes. But not everybody has that time, and not everybody has, you know, that kind of control. You know, maybe they can't resist. They have to, you know, get the 50 loot box pack for, I don't even know how much it is. I've never bought it. But it's there, you know.
Yeah. That is an interesting idea. They kind of did that with the Overwatch League skins, didn't they? Where you could choose to buy a certain number of skins with the certain color you want for the hero you want.
Yes, you can pay $100 to get your entire team skin. So that's 26 skins, because that's one for each hero. So that's actually, honestly, kind of a steal. It doesn't sound like it initially, you know, like $100. What the, you know? But
yeah, I mean, you compare it to like NBA jerseys, and that's pretty cheap. Like
exactly. Like, or you can spend. They gave two enough coins for two jersey, or I guess two skins. Sorry, two skins for free, and then after that, it's basically, it boils down to about $5 per skin. So if you want to go buy a skin, it'll be about $5.
Okay.
Or you can do the whole team for 100. So it's not bad actually. I kind of like it.
That's not too bad. If I played Overwatch, I'd be tempted to jump in there and get one of those.
The resistance is hard.
It is, especially like, I don't know. It's so easy, like money just like, oh, it's just a thing.
Just
like,
$5.
Yeah, it's just $5 for the pack of loot boxes. Like League of Legends gets me on that all the time. It's like, hey, look, you have 300 riot points. For 100 more riot points, you could buy a skin. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
I think that's one of the biggest things that turned me off of League, aside from the community, was actually because of the skins, because the way they sell them, I just want to buy them with money rather than buy riot points to get it. It felt like convoluted.
Yeah, and they've added boxes now too.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, they've got a loot box system. It's a little bit better. Like you get, so there's a rating when you play a game, and if anyone on your team gets an S, which is a really good score, then you all get a box if you haven't got one on that champion recently.
Okay.
So it encourages you to do well, and it encourages you to play different champions. And then you play and get honor capsules by like being honored by your teammates. And those contain keys which open the boxes. And then inside the boxes you've got like skin shards and stuff like that, and then you use those to get different skins and champions and stuff.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a nice little addition. It's one of those things where I've gotten to the point where it's like, oh cool, I have this new thing and I don't have to pay for it. That's nice.
Yeah, because before it was basically if you wanted a skin, you were gonna have to pay quite a bit of money to go through and get the skins. Like no other way.
I did actually spend $20 on the DJ Sona skin, which is an epic level skin or whatever they call them.
Yeah, I've actually seen that one. There's quite a bit of fan art for it.
I can imagine. Good stuff. Well, speaking of, I guess we'll just go ahead and transition to then what we're playing right now. So I'm actually, speaking of League, a bunch of us have been getting back into, because their new season just started. I don't even know what season number it is. I want to say like season 8 or something like that. But we've played most of us have played all of our placement matches, and I am the proud newest member of Bronze 5.
Oh, nice. I'm sure Bronze is really good.
Can't get any lower than this. So, but I've already hit my first placement match, or my series to jump out to the next level. So I'm okay.
Okay, not bad. Not bad.
No, I don't consider myself an amazing League player by any means, but it's fun.
I mean, that's what really matters. I know it sounds cheesy, but it really is. I mean, if you're not enjoying it, what's the point?
Exactly. So how about you? What have you been playing lately?
Funnily enough that you bring up ranked, I've been doing competitive Overwatch with the goal of hitting Diamond. And I actually completed that goal technically in December. I got placed in Diamond, but I wanted to make sure it wasn't a fluke. And so this time when I got placed about 300 SR below that, back in Plat, and I was a little bummed out, like, oh man, did I really was it a fluke,
Oh.
And I just got back to Diamond the other night, so I'm very pleased.
Well, congratulations. That's exciting.
Yeah, now I'm just barely above average. No, it's just nice. A little bit of, validation on your skills when you've dumped like 800 hours into a game.
Yeah, my goal is to get to silver. I'll be happy, silver or gold, if I can get out of that.
Hey, I mean, everywhere. I was gonna say it all starts somewhere. I used to be in gold, so gold, plat to diamond, feeling pretty good about progression there.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So do you have like a set team of people that you play with?
I have 2 different accounts so that I can solo queue on one, and that way if it messes up my SR, it's just me, doesn't matter. But on my main account, I play with my sister and a couple of friends, Vagabond and Born Stellar, who we team up as a group of 4, and we do really well. We've got everyone's kind of flex. We've got a few heroes that we all do pretty well on, and we just kind of try to match whatever the 2 randoms are so that we build around them, and usually it works. We're on a pretty good winning streak at the moment.
It's pretty awesome. And then the team sizes in Overwatch is what, 6? Is that...
6v6.
Okay. So you just get randoms in there then, or?
Yeah. People have suggested that Overwatch maybe make a team queue versus a solo queue, because a lot of people don't like ending up, imagine you're the one player who ends up with a 5-stack and you're that one random person. It's like, well, and then the other team gets a 6-stack. It's like, well, you're clearly at a disadvantage because that's 6 people working together who know each other on some level versus 5 people and then 1 random.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there's nothing like that. So yeah, it's just, they just queue up usually either, most of the time they end up being a 2-stack, but sometimes we just get 2 random people.
Yeah.
It's been pretty good. Getting everyone close to Diamond, actually. And on our little team. So yeah, it's pretty good.
That is super awesome.
I've also been playing, I finished Horizon Zero Dawn last year, but the DLC came out, and it took me a little while to get that. I don't know if you've ever played any of Horizon Zero Dawn, but it's the the redhead awesome Aloy against the Robo Dinos.
Right. Yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of it. My old roommate, I saw him play it a bit. I don't own a PS4, so I don't get any PS4 exclusives.
Yep, that makes sense.
I'm thinking about buying one this summer because there's a stack of games that I really want to play.
Do it.
And like that new Spider-Man game is a system buyer for me, so
nice.
That looks incredible.
I don't think I've actually seen that one yet. I mean, I've heard, but I just don't keep up with Spider-Man games generally.
What?
I know.
Did you not watch E3?
No, not this year. I usually do. I'm pretty certain I was out of town at the. I don't remember what we were doing. But I just read through highlights generally and.
Gotcha. Well, I will find you the trailer for it, and you have to watch it because it looks amazing.
Yeah,
amazing
definitely. Oh my god.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so much. But yeah, the DLC's been really good. I was a little worried about a game like that adding DLC, not because I don't want more of it, just because. I mean, you know that rabbit hole that can appear when they start building DLC onto a game. It's like,
oh yeah.
Well, is this really going to add to the story, or is this like 5 minutes of a new dinosaur that we're going to kill?
Right.
And
especially like with those open world collect a million thing games.
Exactly, but it was really good. Added a whole new perspective. It wasn't technically after the end of the first one, so it was during other events going on, but I actually found it pretty easy to pick up and play and kind of figure out what was going on, like when it was and everything. It was a lot of fun, and plus there was a new giant bear robo dinosaur that scared the heck out of me. That was so great. He actually I actually played it on stream, and I was trying to kill him, and he does this body slam. And this dinosaur is like, I'm talking 4 or 5 times bigger than my character, so he jumps on me, and I'm obviously terrified. And It actually glitched me through the floor, and I drowned in lava.
Oh.
So, of course, everyone had a fun time with that, He body slammed me out of the game.
Oh, man, that's amazing.
Yeah,
into the lava with you. Like...
Yeah, and I was freaking out. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what the heck? The walls are gone. It's all yellow. What? There's a bear above me? I don't know. But no, it's been really good. And I'm excited. I actually really want more DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn because I enjoyed it a lot.
Nice. Yeah, I need to get back into... I need to get away from these, like, either single player... like, but you can play them forever games, or like multiplayer games. That's all I've been playing lately. So it's like I keep circling through like RimWorld, Civ 6, whose first expansion comes out in February, which is exciting. It's like 2 weeks from now.
I didn't know that. That's exciting.
Yes. And then like Stellaris, and like I'm getting into modding, and so like modding just like adds so much to some of these games. You're just like hours and hours later, you're like, I'm still playing the same game.
Still good though.
I keep forgetting to cancel my Humble Bundle monthly subscription, so I keep getting like I have so many games that I could play, and I'm like, I'll just keep playing RimWorld. It's fine.
Like, this is still good, actually. I'm fine here.
I'm fine here. Everything's fine.
It's good though. I mean, getting mileage out of that kind of stuff. There's nothing that beats a game like that you can just keep playing over and over again.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It definitely makes you feel like it was worth buying.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should just start giving the game keys away, like on the podcast or something.
You could. I mean, it's not a bad idea if you're not gonna play them.
To our 10 to 15 listeners, let me know if you would like me to give away video games for free.
Just, I mean, isn't that basically
like a resounding yes?
I just can't imagine people into video games wanting free video games. Funnily enough, speaking of, I don't know if you've heard of Doki Doki Literature Club.
I have not. I saw it on the notes, but I was like, I don't know what that is.
It's, so it appears to be a dating sim. a little with anime girls. It's not. It's haunting.
Like a Hatoful Boyfriend, or you heard of that before?
Much darker, much darker.
Okay.
But it is kind of like like where it's, oh, this is a dating sim, but then it kind of becomes something else, and you kind of, it's not as lighthearted as you might think. In fact, the tags on it are psychological horror for Doki Doki Literature Club. Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. Becca, my sister, was like, hey, you should play this on stream. I was like, yeah, cool, whatever, it's free, I'll download it. Yeah, that was never trust someone who tells you to download something and doesn't tell you that the tag is psychological horror.
That's amazing.
I was tricked. It's actually really incredible. I don't know why it's free. I think they could make tons of money off it. It's it, like I said, it appears to be, this dating sim, but the farther you get into it, it took me about 3 hours to get through like what's considered kind of the normal part. For most people it's less, but I was streaming it, so I was, stopping and reading and talking.
Right.
But you've got 4 different girls and they all seem kind of normal, but then the more you get to know them, there's off stuff. It actually broaches several really delicate subjects: suicide, depression, abuse. It goes way into it. It's a lot emotionally to handle, but it is actually incredibly well done. And it just, I don't want to spoil it, because genuinely I just want people to play it and love it and be terrified, but it's really good. It's a lot more than you could ever ask for in a free game.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not good at scary things, so maybe I should stay away from it, but maybe
you could watch someone else. As I say, there's lots of people uploading Let's Plays, if that's more your thing.
I could probably do that.
Because that's easier, I find. The funny thing is, at one point, it detects if you're streaming the game, and if you are, there's a jump scare.
Oh no!
So if you're using OBS or XSplit, it detects it and will actually change something in the story.
That's amazing.
Right? I thought it was kind of neat. It does it because the other option is it calls you by your real name. It goes through and finds your username, and because you can change your name to whatever you want in a game, right. And it calls you by real name. So to protect you if you are streaming, they just scare the heck out of you instead.
That's fair. That's really cool though. I never thought about the idea of like games interacting like with whether or not you're streaming it or not. Like that's really fun.
It's becoming a bigger and bigger thing, actually. They're making games where they are supposed to be able to interact with your chat and you. So Party Hard, I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's a little pixel game where you're a murderer who kills people because they're partying too loud and you're upset by it. But they can actually, if you set it up with the stream settings, it will actually have these random every, I think it's every like few minutes, they can actually add things to your game that make it harder for you to beat the level that you're on.
Oh, wow. So kind of like that, like Twitch plays Pokemon, like the chat influences the game.
Yeah. I think it's really cool.
That's amazing. We live in the future, man.
Everything is, it's exciting.
That's crazy. Is there anything else you're playing you want to chat about?
I guess I've been doing a little bit of PUBG, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. It's a battle royale. I know that's been really popular right now. Not just PUBG, but oh man, what's it called?
Just battle royales in general.
Yeah.
Fortnite is.
Fortnite, yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing a bunch of Fortnite here lately too. It's so much fun.
I have to try it because I didn't expect to like PUBG because I'm not big on Battle Royale, but I actually ended up liking it more than I thought, so I was like, maybe I should try Fortnite too, like to see if I like their Battle Royale mode.
I like it. The building mechanic, have you played Fortnite at all? Like the single player?
No, I've seen it, but I haven't personally played it.
Yeah. There's a building mechanic where you can build like walls and stairs and floors and like forts and stuff, and like the main game is basically a third-person shooter tower defense against zombies. So
Mhm.
you like build a base and put up traps and like funnel the zombies and shoot them and all this fun stuff.
Mhm.
But the building mechanic is in the battle royale. So like there's people that will run around and like throw walls up in front of themselves as they're like being shot at. And
Hmm.
so like it's really interesting. And then there's like the like grenades and rocket launchers become more useful as you can knock their walls down and stuff. It's interesting.
I think I recall seeing a video of someone who won by building around this guy, and then I think he broke the wall, and then I don't know, they somehow killed him, but it was very amusing. Like, I was like, what is this mechanic? Like, they just built
Yeah,
walls around this poor guy.
it's pretty
He was
crazy.
stuck in.
It's pretty fun. I'm not like I don't build it quick enough, and so like the whole thing of it just escapes me. But like to see other people do it, and it's also funny when you run across people who don't understand like that they're like the game obeys physics to a degree anyway.
Mm.
So they'll build like giant stairs up into the sky like a platform and like
Oh,
start
no.
sniping, and so you're like do 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 and run over and knock your support out, and watch as your building comes falling down.
Oh, that's good. Can they? I assume fall damage is a thing.
Yes,
Perfect.
definitely a
That's
thing.
excellent.
Yeah, it's super fun. And the other big difference is there's no vehicles in Fortnite, which I've
Mm.
heard is a thing in PUBG.
It is. I don't necessarily recommend them unless you absolutely have to use them.
Really?
But they're very loud. Everyone knows exactly where you are.
Yeah.
And I find playing PUBG is a lot about honestly being kind of stealthy.
Yeah.
Just not attracting attention, letting other people kind of kill each other. It
Well,
sounds terrible, but like my first hour of playing, we got to top 10 several times just by being stealthy.
nice. You mean you don't like drop to the most populated area and go
Ugh.
crazy?
Some people really like that and they can do it, but not me.
Yeah,
I'm just not that good at it.
no, I'm not that kind of guy either. Every time I play Fortnite with people, they're like, "Let's go to the city." I'm like, "Nope."
I'll
It's
stay here.
a whole lot of nope. I'm gonna go over to this mountain where there's a tree, where there's a chest by the tree, and that's where I'm going.
Take cover here and lie down and wait.
I'm just gonna like hang out in this tree.
Do they do any sort of zoning to make people play closer and closer together? I don't know how big the maps are in Fortnite.
Yeah, it's pretty sizable, but it also it does the same kind of thing. Like it has a storm wall that comes in.
Okay.
It's kind of cool because like the actual thing in Fortnite is that these zombies are being created by this crazy weird like purple storm, and so you create these storm shields that like push the storm back,
Mm.
and so they use that mechanic but in reverse.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. So that's always fun when you're like, oh great, now I get to cross half the map in a minute and a half without being
Yes.
seen by anyone.
Yeah. No, I do understand that pain. Like I said, PUBG, and you want to, in my opinion, you want to avoid those vehicles.
Yeah. Oh, and they
They're
don't.
too loud.
Yeah, they don't have the it's like artillery zones or something like that.
Yes,
I've seen
bomb
those.
strikes come down in
Yeah.
the little red circle, and if you're not, I mean, you run the risk of getting, blown up. I've died once, I think, to it. It was very, very upsetting. You're like, I'm right there, the door to the house. I'm okay. Dead.
Oh.
It's good though.
Yeah. So I mean, it kind of makes me want to try PUBG at some point.
I would. I mean, given the price tag, maybe wait, but I did enjoy it a lot more than I expected.
What's it selling for right now? Do you know?
I thought it was still 30.
Gotcha.
I think. And I just don't, it depends on how much you play those kind of games.
Yeah. There's a nice thing about Fortnite is that it's free.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's part of why I wanted to check it out, because it's like, well, free games. See how that goes.
Yeah, free is hard to beat. That's for sure.
True. When it's not riddled with microtransactions.
At least unplayable, like riddled to the point of being unplayable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about something other than video games for a little bit. Kind of about what we've been watching lately, TV and movies. I think I talked about Jumanji recently. If I didn't, I'll just say it's amazing and really funny, and you should all go see it. And I kind of will gloss over Pitch Perfect 3 in a similar way, but I just wanted to say that it was really fun and that I love that series.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous and very silly, but they own it, and I think it's really fun. Have you seen any of the Pitch Perfect movies?
I saw the first one. I don't think I've seen the second, and I honestly didn't even know there was a third.
It came out this holiday.
Oh, okay. Not
Those,
too far behind.
it didn't do super well,
Mm.
but it was fun and funny. So,
Okay.
but a new show that I've been getting into. Well, first I'll just touch on Grace and Frankie, which is a Netflix original, which has Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, which is hilarious. One of the best, funniest shows that I've ever seen.
I've been meaning to get into it. I've seen like a couple episodes here and there from other people watching it. It looks very amusing.
It is so funny. I love that show. So they just randomly, I got this notice from Netflix, be like, "Hey, season 4 is available." I'm like, "Oh, I had no idea it was coming, but thank you, Netflix." So like, I watched like 10 episodes yesterday. So that was fun, and I'm almost done with it. I'll probably finish it tonight.
Nice.
Yes. And then one other one that on Netflix I've been trying to catch up on. It's actually a sci-fi show. It's called The Magicians. And it's based off of a book series, which has like been compared to Harry Potter for adults.
That sounds really great.
Yeah, so it's like a really interesting, kind of like trippy, like these students at a magical college, but all this stuff starts going weird and messed up. And, it is very adult. But it's pretty fun. I've been enjoying it. Like the magic part of it's really cool and unique. So that's kind of what I've been watching. How about you?
Super late to the show on Steven Universe, but
Oh man,
it was just one of those things it meant to always check out, but you know how sometimes the hype with things can make it's just really frustrating when you check things out and they're not as good. I mean, Game of Thrones is a perfect example, I think, of hype that went really well, hype for a show that was great. But there's a lot of shows where, the hype was like, what? Why? Why is this show so popular? Steven Universe, I found at least the first 30 episodes was just really boring. I almost didn't make it through it.
Oh wow.
Because it was very much a kid's show at that point, I feel like. And, there were good things there. I loved the gems, I loved Steven was a little bit annoying, he's a kid, that's kind of normal, but
right.
And then after that, I felt like it got really interesting, when they reveal certain things about the universe they're living in. It's just like, wow, this show is way, way deeper than it appears to be, at least for me. And I've just been very impressed that everything seems very organic. The characters are very relatable. The relationships are relatable, even the bad ones. Like, it's just, I love it. I was blown away by how good it was. I think I've got 20 episodes left to catch up on.
Nice.
But I've been binging that for like a week.
Yeah, my ex was huge into that show.
Yeah.
I would download them for him. And so
Okay.
I would always check like the beginning of it to make sure that check to make sure the video quality
not terrible.
Because even like in like purchasable stuff, sometimes it comes down weird or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, so I've heard the theme song like 100 times. So, like, we are the Crystal Gems.
We'll always save the day.
Yeah, exactly. So it seems like a fun show. It's one of those things. It's like I've never been. I don't know if it's considered anime or if it's just like American anime or just like American animation or whatever it's considered.
Mm-hmm.
But
cartoon, maybe not your thing.
Right. It's never really been my cup of tea since like I don't know the original X-Men animated shows or some I don't know around that time.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I should give it a try. I mean,
I think it's difficult for me to recommend because that's a lot of episodes to not be good. But
yeah.
But they are 10 minutes long, so this isn't like 30-minute episodes. But it's more something at least when I do recommend to people, is more like just put it on the background for a while.
Okay.
Just have it on when you're doing other things, and then once it gets around 30 episodes, start paying attention, because at that point I got to the point where I couldn't ignore it, because if I didn't, I didn't know what was going on anymore.
Oh yeah.
And it was very good. But yeah, there are definitely people who just cartoon isn't their thing, even if it's well done. It's just not their thing, and that's totally cool. I'm big on like Futurama and American Dad and Voltron and Steven Universe, so like I dig cartoon.
Well, now Voltron's actually one that I'm thinking about getting into.
I cannot recommend that one enough.
Okay, so that's the one out of the two. That's one I should start with, is what you're saying.
I think that one will catch you way earlier than Steven Universe would. It's incredible. I know it's a remake of the original Voltron cartoon. I've never seen it personally, but I know it was big, and I'm blown away with how well done everything is. The animation is beautiful. It's definitely cheesy when they form Voltron, because it's one of those shows that's like, oh, this is a kid's show that also adults enjoy.
Right.
So yeah, they do the whole like, I mean, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, like the 90s anime sequence of machine parts coming together, or Power Rangers. I mean, it's very cheesy.
I mean, as a huge Power Ranger fan who still considers himself a Power Rangers fan, I totally understand.
But it's good. It's really good. I like it a lot. The characters in this latest season have been developing wonderfully. I mean, some ways you don't like them, but that's part of what makes it great. Like it's normal rather than everyone's perfect all the time. Yeah. You know, there's characters that go through rough patches that make you not like them a lot, and you know, it's interesting to me that in such a like I said, it's a kid show it seems to me a kid show that adults also enjoy. It's got a lot going on. Plus, Shiro's really hot, so.
Well, there you go. That should draw me in right there.
Literally, the voice actor for him is his on Twitter. His bio is the hot one on Voltron. Like that's the hot one on Voltron, and everyone knows it's Shiro's voice actor.
That's awesome. I just Googled Shiro Voltron cosplay, and I'm not disappointed. It's all clean, don't worry. But I can definitely tell why people like this character. Like
Shiro, yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Sweet. Whoa, bless you.
Sorry.
Okay. So yeah, that's pretty fun. So let's now that we're 40 minutes in, let's dive into the meat of the show.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, I wanted to make sure we had enough to talk about, which apparently we do, but it's okay. So you and I both play World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
A really great game, in my opinion, and has always been a great game.
I agree. I do, actually. Even the expansions people didn't like, I enjoyed it.
Exactly, me too. And so they just released their new patch 7.3.5. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of like a half patch, but it's a huge update.
There's a lot more than a regular patch.
Yeah, like I don't know why they didn't just call it 7.4, even though like I guess because it didn't maybe have raids or anything as part of it.
I guess, yeah. But they did add older time walking. I don't know. I feel like there's enough there to call it a full patch.
Yeah, so they're calling it Legion's Epilogue, and so now that we're coming to the end of another expansion, I just thought we'd talk about how we feel about the game, where it how it lives among other games and other MMOs.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking about it?
I have a lot of mixed feelings about Legion, just because I mean, I know you're a fellow altaholic, but yes. I felt it was very hard this expansion to have more than one character, and I love having more than one character. And I feel like I'm very behind because of it. I feel like I'm constantly trying to catch up. My main is only I think eye level 911. It's not great. I haven't done the new raid, Antaros, and I say new because it was the newest one. I was waiting for LFR to finish, because they do the whole release this week, Raid Wing 1. But it's just, I feel like I'm very behind. So it's been a little frustrating on that front. That being said, I think there's a lot of great things they've done with Legion. Like, they fixed so many things in the game that I didn't even know I wanted to be fixed, if that makes sense. Like, I was like, I never thought about this feature, but this is awesome, especially with 7.3.5 with the leveling. Oh my god, thank you. I can finally skip Outlands.
Yes. I'm so glad I don't know what it feels that way. I can go straight from Plaguelands to Northrend.
To Northrend, yeah.
It's beautiful. Oh, man.
All my poor 60 level characters, I was just like, you're free. I don't have to level you through there.
And well, like, and leveling as a group isn't a joke anymore. I mean, leveling as solo isn't a group isn't a joke anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like it used to be, like you run up and tag something and they're dead. Like especially as a warlock, it's just like I'm just gonna throw my damage dot on you and you're gonna die.
Corruption you, corruption you, corruption you.
Some friends and I had tried one time to like make some new characters and roll around together, and I made Shadow Priest. And they were all melee characters of some kind. I never got a spell off. Everything died.
They're dead.
They're just all dead. I was like, okay, I need to find an instant cast. Like, what do Shadow Priest have that's instant cast? It's like when I found like a Mind Flay, right? Shadow Word Pain. I was like, okay, and Mind Flay. Like, I did something.
I touched it before it was tested.
Oh, yeah. So, like, I'm so glad that leveling is so much better than it was before.
Yes, really I think they've done a great job.
Yeah, like I'm really looking forward to leveling my new allied races
from
level 15 up. So that's exciting.
God, I'm so excited for them.
Yeah, like it's gonna be funny. Like I'm really excited for the next expansion, so that I can make an ult and go back to like level
That's exactly.
15.
I was like, I need a third account. I'm full of alts again. And allied races are coming, and I'm gonna have 1 billion of those.
Yeah, luckily they're giving, I think, an additional 6 slots per server, which is nice.
Thank God. I was so excited. I was like, thank you, because
I know, I'm really excited because also since I split my I'm on Medivh, which I think you might be also.
I've got a couple, yeah.
Yeah. And then Exodar is the tied server or whatever they call it, where they're like paired.
Yeah.
That's where my allied tunes live.
Nice.
And so I'm gonna get like 2 of each, which is exciting. So I can't wait. I don't know what I want to level first or what class they're gonna be. It's like I want one of everything.
Right, I know. I was like, I don't know which one. It'll probably just be whatever, because I've got a couple of friends who are wanting to level them too. I'm like, I'll probably just go with whatever everyone sort of convenes on. So, because I'm gonna get them all anyway. Like it's gonna happen one way or another.
Like I think Shadowborn is the one I want to do the most. The Shadow Elves or whatever.
Void Elves or the Nightborn?
Nightborn, sorry.
No problem. I was just wanting to make sure.
Yeah. Well, I want the Void Elves too for the Alliance first, but for Horde, I want to do the Nightborn. But the problem is, like, the most iconic class I could think of to make one would be an Arcane Mage, but that's what my main already is.
You're like, and now I have another Arcane Mage.
Right? I was like, do I need, like, am I going to have 2 Arcane Mages, or am I going to, like, race change my mage, or I don't know what to do.
Well, I think they mentioned if you race change it, you don't get the legacy armor.
Correct. So yeah, I'm still going to level 1.
Definitely going to have to level at least 1.
Right. I was kind of sad that we didn't, like, so I've been stuck in Suramar now for forever. My mage, that's what I'm doing right now, is the Suramar questline. And as soon as you think it's going to end, there's, like, 10 more quests, and it's just, like, the next hill and the next hill, and I'm like, I'm going to be in Suramar forever. I'm never going to hit the Broken Shore. I'm never going to get to Argus. It's over. Like, no, I'm just kidding.
It just falls on the sands of Suramar, and the edge just falls. There's Trent. Didn't make it to Broken Shore.
Didn't make it. Never freed the city. I built the tree. Like, the tree is good, and people are back to normal. But it still wants me to go on those, like, wretch quests or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, can I just give these people the fruit and make them okay now?
Yeah, you're like, please?
Please let me skip, please.
Yeah, and that was part of why I got a little frustrated with alts too, is because even though I think at this point on alts you don't have to complete it fully, but you still have to get Suramar to Exalted to be able to do everything else that your main can do, and it's like, oh, come on, man, like I've done this so many times.
Yeah.
Please. And it's a long, like you're saying, it's a long quest line. I've done it on 2. 2 of my characters, and that's it because it's so long.
And there's so many alts that I want to like do their like artifact quests and stuff that I haven't gotten to yet, and even some of I even just need to get to 100 to get it started. But it's like I'm torn between like, do I catch my mage up all the way through Silithus, which is the new stuff, or do I play my alts?
Yeah,
and so lately it's been all the main, and it's just like, this is gonna take forever. Especially the most recent one. It's like, do 10 world quests in Suramar. I'm like, no, I don't want to.
Those ones are such a pain too, because you can't knock them out in one day.
Yep, it's like, okay, this is at least a 2 or 3 day affair.
Yeah, I think I have 6 or 7 max level tunes, but I can't. I just I can't keep up. I try so some of I'm really big on transmog, obviously. I mean, who isn't in WoW? Right. A little bit anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you know about the Mage Tower.
Yeah.
So there's the Mage Tower appearances, which when Legion ends and when we get to the new expansion, you can no longer attain.
What?
So I have, it's like 42 appearances I have to unlock because there's 1 per spec.
Oh my god.
And I have a huge Google sheet chart made up with each of my characters and their eye levels and their class mounts and their mage towers and the mythic 15s, which are also an appearance that will not be attainable after Legion.
Oh wow.
So there's a lot going on.
That's a goal.
It's very daunting, very daunting. Me and Beck actually share the sheet. We've got both of our characters on it, and she just like cries a little whenever she looks at it. She's like, it's too much. I'm so stressed out looking at it. I'm like, me too, man. I can't handle all the things I have to do. But it's like I want those appearances. So I've been, trying to prioritize the ones that I really, really, really desperately want. But
right, like rank them in order of which ones you want more.
Exactly. Like Warlock's my favorite class, so I try to prioritize Warlock, and I enjoy Rogue, so trying to get those ones and stuff like that. But it's like there's there's a lot to do.
I can imagine. See, I would not have pegged you as a Warlock player. That's interesting.
I enjoy Affliction, which I know grown because at this point Affliction is just crazy good, but there were a lot of patches when Affliction was not great.
Oh yeah. I remember the days.
I just love dotting people and letting them die. So like in PvP, I love that one stupid rogue has already used Cloak of Shadows, and you get that corruption on them and agony on them, and he runs around the corner, and you just see it, and then you get the honor kill points, and you're like, yeah, you tried. It's a beautiful feeling.
It's awesome. See, I think it's because I'm a mage that I've just had a hatred for warlocks for so long. I was like,
I find that such a weird thing too, because I find people who like mages don't like warlocks, and people who like warlocks don't like mages. But I actually don't care. Like, I just enjoy warlocks playstyle. I have no ill will towards mages.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no good reason for me to hate warlocks. I think it's just like the RPer in me, like
I think it's just been a thing for forever.
Right.
Because that's basically what warlocks were basically corrupted mages, at least on Azeroth.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I kind of get it. The whole, where did you go wrong?
It's like, I am a mage. I'm pure or whatever.
My magic is pure.
Yeah, my blood elf mage is definitely he's the elitist, that's for sure. I'm better than you. He used
Goes right with the race.
He used to be undead, which was fun. I'm kind of with all the awesome like Sylvana stuff. It makes me want to roll a new undead character.
Yes. I am loving the attention she's getting right now.
Yeah, I don't have one right now, and like I want to just go through the leveling stuff and like enjoy Undercity while we still can.
Let's not talk about that.
I know, sorry, it's so sad.
My heart can't handle it. Like, this is mine. Don't do this. Don't do this.
Well, it's the thing. It's like, as a mage, especially with portals and teleport, I can hang out in any capital city that I want to, and so there is no like one hub city. Especially, I mean, back in the day you couldn't because the auction houses didn't work.
Yeah.
But I hang out in Undercity a lot because there's not as many people, and so you don't have to like worry about being like trampled by 1,000 flying dragons.
Can't see the person in front of you.
It's like you're trying to click the banker. Would you get off your mount? But yeah, I'm gonna be very sad when it's gone. Do you think it's gonna be permanent?
I'm unsure because I'm unsure of how much they want to sync WoW. I think at this point, there's some people guessing that basically they're trying to end WoW so that they can move on to WoW 2 or something like that.
Really?
So to do that, doing something that drastic would definitely help. I mean, pushing Sylvanas'... I mean, they're at this point, they're really, really pushing the kind of evil thing, which kind of annoys me. I definitely agree she's anti-hero, but I don't believe she's evil, and I really don't like that they're sort of pushing that, and so it's been frustrating me a lot. But I think, I mean, imagine she's a pretty well-loved character. If you wanted to kill WoW, let's see, take away Undercity, make Sylvanas a bad guy. I don't know, there's a lot you can do there with that. So I'm unsure.
I'm curious if like a WoW 2 would be successful, and like
I'm not sure.
Like EverQuest 2 didn't do very well back in the day.
Honestly, anytime they've tried to do that with an MMO previously has never gone well.
Right.
It just doesn't, because there's the core players that are going to stick with their characters and things they built up for years and years, and then there's some random people who will stumble upon WoW 2 and go, wasn't there already one of this?
Right. Like don't get me wrong, I would love to do like a graphical overhaul or an engine overhaul or something.
The problem is it would cost them so much money.
Yeah.
To redo to replace their engine, because so much of what they've built on the game is not properly done. I don't know if you know anything about how like they do effects and stuff in the game, but it's all basically a bunch of invisible NPCs.
Oh, no way. Really?
Yes. They did it as a band-aid kind of thing in TBC, and then they never stopped. And at this point, so imagine trying to translate that to another engine. You can't. You would have to manually replace every single one of them.
Holy crap. Yeah, that's not happening.
Exactly. And that's why when people are like, oh, they could do it, I'm like, no, they can't. They literally cannot. Like, it's a disaster. It would be a disaster.
That's crazy. It makes it really impressive to consider what they've done.
Yes, right? I mean, I feel kind of bad for them because at this point, I mean, the developers and the people who have to put that in game, like, it's frustrating for them because it's constant. That's why you get all those weird bugs that happen when they update a patch, because a bunch of stuff goes wrong that they can't predict because it makes no sense.
Right.
So it's like they're basically having a band-aid fix over and over again. And it's like, that's rough. That's really rough. And impressive that they were even able to overhaul the graphics once.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is way better than it used to be.
Yes. I definitely agree. I don't know why people want classic servers.
Okay, yeah, that is talking about can of worms.
Yeah,
that is like the biggest can of worms. I could talk about that for an hour.
I totally agree. For the rest of my life, I could sit here and talk to you about why it's a bad idea.
I'll boil it down to this one sentence. You don't want what you think you want, and you're gonna hate it.
You have a nostalgia filter.
Right.
And you're gonna spend 10 minutes on it and go, oh crap, I'm not level 2 already?
Right. It's either going to not be what it was in order to make you feel better about it, or it's going to be what it was and you're going to hate it.
It's going to go terribly. There's always hardcore players who will. There's some people there who really do want that. But I think for the most part, it's a nostalgia filter. We want an HD remake of WoW, and it's like, no. And they're like, take away those things. I was like, do you understand that you won't have looking for group? Good luck doing dungeons. Good luck doing raids. Do you know 40 people? No, you don't. You don't even have the number of friends now when you have a battle.net service that does it for you. Good luck, man.
Yeah, I remember in Wrath, which is the last time we had to do pickup groups for regular raiding, just getting 10 people to do Ulduar or Icecrown would take like an hour and a half just to get them. Like you'd have to like plan 6 or 7 hours to do a raid because you gotta spam trade chat, send a couple people ahead to like buy the summoning stone or send a warlock, and then and of course that was the day of gear score, so you had to inspect everyone.
Oh my god!
As they came up and be like, "Oh, sorry, your gear score is not high enough. You can't come with us." Oh man,
And then random people dropping out. I don't have time for this. Well, why did you join? You knew
Right?
it was going to be forever.
Like, we get past the first boss, so like, oh, sorry guys, I gotta go.
And everyone cries.
Right, and like, all right, mage, port someone back to back to
Start
Dalaran.
looking for group again.
Start over again. Oh,
yeah, it's a nightmare.
I don't miss that at all. And that was only for 10 people.
Exactly. That was in Wrath.
I can't even imagine 40.
Ugh, it makes me sick to think about. It really does. Like,
Yeah.
And Battlegrounds where you had to queue by going to the Battle Masters.
And Alterac Valley would take days.
Yeah.
Days.
Like, you're stuck there. Like, you either sit there and play for literally days straight, or you're gonna AFK and you're gonna have someone come tap the keyboard, like, because you don't want to miss out, or hope that you get in near the end.
Right.
Yeah, you're like praying, like, please let this Alterac Valley be close to done. Please. I need those honor points.
Yeah, and then if you're a noob and you go to the wrong battleground entrance and the guards massacre you,
right.
You're like, wait, I thought this was the entrance to Alterac. Where did I go?
Good luck. Or back. Well, they changed it now. Like, I do actually appreciate the change they made to, you know how the people would try to convince you to do dash PvP so they could kill you, whereas now, like, there's the whole system set in place where you have to manually go and dash PvP. You can't accidentally attack someone, but there's that whole thing where people would run in front, they'd duel you, and then they'd exit the duel with a macro, and then you'd hit them, and then you'd be flagged, or you had people who would, like, walk in front of every mob you tried to kill. I'm like, do you understand the frustration that you are going to go through again?
Yep.
Like,
yeah, that's the whole thing. Well, I think we should probably call it here. It's been about an hour. Sorry for everyone who submitted questions. We will get to them next week, I promise. We'll do a whole segment on the ones that I've got saved, and feel free to send more. Either email briefnerdity@gmail.com or leave us comments on our Facebook group or Twitter. And as always, thank you to my amazing guests for joining.
You're very welcome. It was awesome.
Had a lot of fun. And hope you all join us again next week for another episode of the Brief and Nerdy podcast. And don't forget to check out our new mini spin-off thing on Sundays, which is Brief Trek, where my friend Annie and I talk about Star Trek, which is very exciting. So everybody have a great week, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.